What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. And I'm just going to start off today's podcast with just letting you know that I get in these weird funks, right? And I honestly didn't want to talk about what we're going to be talking about today. I wanted to talk about cardio and, the best tips for burning body fat. And so I just think it's best if we just, put that conversation on hold till tomorrow. So that's going to be a good one. Lots of value. Today, like I said, I get in these weird kind of funks where, and I'm only human. I might hear something that triggers me. I might see something that triggers me. And, yesterday was Halloween, and everybody had a great time. We actually had some friends over. They brought their kids. And somebody said something to me that triggered me. And this whole entire podcast episode, I wanted to talk about something, and then I took a shower, and then my mind just went elsewhere with the podcast. And I'm just going to let you know, right, that when I get into these weird kind of funks or moods or whatever you call it, like my intuition kind of speaks, if that makes sense. Like I get into kind of a flow state on this podcast where I just start rambling on. And typically when that happens, it's a really good episode, and it's something that also pisses a lot of people off. And I think that's going to piss you off today if you're somebody that's easily triggered. Like I always say this, if you're fat, lazy, broke, and you don't want to do anything to change your life about it, I will always piss you off. But if you're fat, lazy, and broke, and you want to change your life, I probably can help you out. And hopefully this episode will do that justice. So yesterday was Halloween. Last year, the year before, Oakley just hated Halloween. He did not want to go trick or treating, even to our neighbors who are like the nicest people in the world. It's just like he just got terrified. Maybe it was the costumes, whatever. So this year, we had one of his best friends, at daycare come over, and my best friend also too. So they all came over, the whole entire family, and it was great. So they're out there trick or treating, right? It was awesome, right? Oakley was loving it. And it comes down to the end of the evening. Everybody's having a great time, and we're running out of candy. Okay, so we're running out of candy, and this little girl and this little boy, they probably were, I don't know, 12, 13, around that age. They come up to our garage. We're passing out the candy, and we had a little bit left. So I was just like, hey, just so you guys know, this is the last of it. Just take all of it. Just split up between you guys. And the boy, heavier set, says to me, as confident as can be, and this pissed me off so much. He says to me, I'm fat, give it to me. I'm fat, give it to me. And you guys just don't understand. You guys just don't know how to lead. I'm not trying to get emotional, but it just pisses me off so much. There is very few things that could piss me off in this world. Honestly, if somebody hit me with a car and I'm literally a vegetable, but I'm still thinking, I'm thankful, right? I'm grateful. I'm doing something, right? I got my mind, which is the greatest tool ever. But man, what really triggers me and really pisses me off is when somebody could be just so negative about themselves and act like it's nothing. And the reason why I think that pisses me off so much is because that used to be me. I literally remember in school, having how AOL, you had the instant messenger, you can create a username. I remember having one no emotions, right? Or non-emotional, or no one loves me guy, 2.0 or whatever, 137, some weird thing like that. I was in this weird phase growing up where it's just I always tried to fit in with other people, and then I would get really just disappointed when I realized man, I'm doing things I don't want to do, or acting with people I don't want to act with, whatever, and just this awkward phase where I just felt like I was on this island by myself. And I got really comfortable and confident within myself, not having any self-love and self-respect. And like, guys, I'm letting you know right now, like, I have amazing family, amazing friends, but internally, I did not love myself growing up. And I made my childhood way harder than it needed to be. Me. Me. Myself. No one else. I take full ownership and respect and accept those responsibilities for my own actions. Me. I take full ownership because I didn't love myself. And like when this little kid said this at 13 years old, I literally just wanted to man, it pissed me off so much. Like his parents, his father, like I want to have a conversation with that individual. Both of them. Because like at the end of the day, like it all stems from the family. It all stems from the father. Honestly, this is why like people also wonder like, Joe, why do you train majority guys? Because I can be aggressive with a guy and I can say something that he can relate to because I can relate back. We resonate, right? And if he like has the same viewpoints and ethics as me and morals, then odds are like he's going to listen to what I have to say. And I hope a lot of people have to listen to what I have to say in today's episode. Because the reality is this, guys. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And I'm a firm believer of your own actions. You can either live this life or you can be a leader and lead a life. It's completely different. It's the yin to the yang. And this is where we're going to go down this rat. Some people are going to be like, man, this is so controversial. Why are you saying this? Like, this makes no sense. Like, what are you smoking over there? Like, this makes no sense at all. But I just want to let you guys know, like, this is my podcast. I can say whatever I want. And I'm very comfortable and confident saying whatever I want because I want somebody to understand how serious this is. Because just like last night when that kid said to me so confidently, I'm fat, give it to me. So confidently, I went from a dead smile to looking him straight and just literally putting the fear into his soul, looking right into his eyes and saying, don't you dare ever say that about yourself again. Take your candy. Bye. I want you guys to know the severity of this as well. If you're not training, right, and raising your kids, somebody else will. Any parent, any dad is going to say, oh, I didn't tell my son to say, I'm fat. I would never do that. But your actions do. Not your verbal words, your actions do. Your laziness stems off. When you come home from work and you're not moving around, guess what? Same thing applies to your kids. When you're eating crap, not caring about your health, guess what? The same thing applies to their kids. This is how I view the world. I'm going to be that dad, whether you like me or not. I'm going to be the one screaming affirmations. I'm going to be the one teaching my son independence, self-love, self-respect. I'm going to be the one teaching my kid to be outside and be active, to have a healthy relationship with food, have better habits for longevity, to be a better leader in this world. And guess what? You know how I'm going to train and teach my son that? Is by doing it within myself. Walking the walk, not talking the talk. Now, this is where we're going to get down the rabbit hole and get very controversial, okay? Because I just want to let you guys know, and this thought just came to my head when I was in the shower. I'm not right. I'm not wrong. I'm just letting you guys know just a thought. Is that okay to do? I think it is, right? No, you don't have to listen to this, right? This is America after all, right? Freedom of speech. I'm not, saying anything negative towards anyone or anything. I'm just letting you guys know my viewpoints, right? And just who I'm becoming as, hey, my son is 3 years old and, I'm a newbie, right? When it comes to all this, when it comes to being a father. I'm brand new into this, right? 3-year-old. I don't have a lot of experience like some of the guys that we coach who have like 10-year-olds and 15-year-olds and 20-year-olds and kids out of the house. I don't have that much experience, but this is at least what I at least think, right? Based on these past 3 years and kind of just viewing things on how I just experiences of life, so to speak. I'm going to teach my son, right, how to become the person that he wants to become. So I'll say it like this. A lot of people, right, like I love school, right? I love learning things, education. But has it ever occurred to you guys that you can't go out there and get a business loan if you're 18 years old? You can't go out there and get other kind of loans that can help you out in taking courses, skills, traits, right? But why is it that, hey, next thing you know, you can get a loan for $100K, $200K, $300K, and put it all into, universities and colleges? Okay? Now hear me out before this gets completely left field for you, right? And you're like, okay, I'm never listening to this podcast again. At that age where Oakley, gets a little bit more dependent, right? 15, 16, whatever. I'm going to have a conversation with them. I'm going to say, Oakley, what is it that you want to become in this world? Like, who do you want to become? And I'm going to help my son become who he wants to become. I'm not going to force my son. If he wants to go to college, he can go to college. I went to college, right? Honestly, right? I don't remember crap about what I learned in college. Here's the funny thing too, right? I'd say some business courses, and we can talk about this here in a little bit, but where did I actually learn how to run a business from? You think it was a professor that never runs a business of his own and never had a company? Or a business coach that runs a business? Funny how things work like that, huh? We'll talk about that here in a second. But I'm going to ask my son, like, Oakley, what is it that you want to be? Like, who do you want to become? Hey, dude, when you're 18, 19, 20, like, bro, me and my, your wife, my mom, wow, I said completely backwards. Me and your mom, right? My wife, like, get out of the house, dude. Like, sink or swim. Bye. So, and I'm just joking, right? But regardless, I want to have a conversation with them. All seriousness. Like, Oakley, who do you want to become? And let's say he wants to say, I want to be a fireman. Okay, cool. Like, let's go down that route, right? Let's make sure, like, hey, we're going for EMT, paramedics. Like, okay, hey, maybe then training with some of the firefighters, right? Instead of maybe, I don't know, like doing something else that applies nothing to that at all. Like learning about mathematics that you already learned about in high school, but you still got to learn about in college. It's funny because no one's teaching you also how to do taxes of your own too when you're going through, if you guys ever really wondered, like the stuff that they teach you in schools and universities and colleges, you don't really apply anything. Now, if you're going for a specific trait, right, like a doctor, completely different here. But I don't know. Once again, maybe I'm just completely left field with that one. But regardless, I'm going to have this conversation with my son. And let's say he's going to say, oh, Dad, I want to be like you. And I want to run a business. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, okay, well, what is your passion? Like if it's fitness, cool. I can teach you how to run a business. But I'd rather just also just maybe help you out and teach you different skill sets on how to make your own money, right? So that way you can also invest into a better business coach than myself because I want you to learn, not just get everything handed down to you. And then guess what? You can probably run a successful business because someone has taught you. Instead of spending the next 4 years of taking out these loans, aka debt, right, for tuitions, to then have somebody teach you about different subjects that apply nothing to business at all, right? And then on top of that, these people, they're not, educated as far as real life goes. Meaning, like, these professors, these colleges, what about, like, real, hey, do you have any businesses? Like, do you actually run any companies? It's just completely just, hey, textbook material with the same textbook that's years and years and years and years and years and years and years, publish. But yet our world is constantly changing. I'm going to teach my son the basics of how to make money. Value that you're pouring out into the world, the marketplace. You got to capture someone's attention and supply and demand. Like, that's it. Like, I can save you $100K in student loans just by letting you know, like, that's how to make money right there. Value. Capturing the attention of others. Supply and demand. Let's put it into a practical sense here. Value. Well, okay, hey, so I help dads over the age of 40 get rid of their dad bod, have more energy, have more confidence, getting off their, medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, create better leadership habits for them and their families. So that way, guess what? They can live a better, healthier lifestyle, and their family will too. That's value. I put that out, I get that rewarded back with currency. Okay? Boom. That's it. Hey, there's a price for that. I'm not giving away this information and coaching for free. Like, obviously, like, I got bills to pay for. I got to eat. My team got to eat. Like, hey, we all got to survive here. Pay up, right? Value. Attention. Well, okay, attention's pretty simple. If let's just say, like, no one can, like, you have a product, you have a business, you have a service, but no one knows about it, well, how profitable can you really be in reality? You got to learn how to capture someone's attention. That's very hard in today's society, honestly, with Instagram Reels, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. Like, people's attention spans are shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Like, I run Facebook ads. I run ads on YouTube. Like, I know all this stuff firsthand from being a marketer, being a business owner. You got to capture someone's attention within the first 15 seconds. If you don't, guess what? They're scrolling through because everybody's sheep and just constantly doing the same thing, scrolling through social media, right? Just wasting away their time. That's it. So, hey, if you can capture their time, right, and capture their attention when they're scrolling, and it's something that provides value and something that they want, maybe there's a supply and demand, right, that we can talk about next, well, guess what? Odds are they're going to give you their money. And that's it, right? You can make money. You don't have to go to a university to learn how to do that. Like, it's way better to invest into yourself and buy a course, invest into a business coach, like anything like that. Way easier to do that. And that's what I'm going to be teaching my son. And supply and demand. Like, obviously, like, if let's say you're the only one that sells water and it's a hot summer day and there's no water around anywhere and you're running this water stand, right, and selling water bottles, like, guess what? People are going to buy from them. I watched the Woodstock thing on Netflix, and they were charging water like $12, right, for a bottle of water when it's normally like $2. Supply and demand. If people are thirsty, they're going to buy it. Plain and simple. That's how you make money in this world. It's just that people are dumb with money because they don't understand how to invest. They don't understand how to save. They don't understand what to do with their money to make their money work harder for them. So instead, what do? Right? We decide to, I'm going to go to a university. I'm going to go to a college, right, where I can get these student loans, aka student debt, right, to go out, right? And no one else can get, loans to, start their own businesses and follow their own heart, follow their own passion in, today's society. They're forced, right, to do this. So then it's like, okay, you got to learn these BS different courses and classes, whatnot. That's not even applicable to what you want to learn until like the last year anyways. And then guess what? You, as well as millions of other people, are then narrowed down, right, to these different jobs. Plain and simple. You guys got all these degrees, right? And you got all these different applicants, right? All applying for these different jobs. Let's say everybody goes to school for marketing, right? And let's say there's all these different marketing companies. But at the end of the day, for all these different marketing positions, there's 50 different people applying for those positions. So now a company can say, well, hey, I'm going to pay you, instead of paying you like, let's say $100K, because, your value, we worth it. Like, it's going to help bring the company more profit. We want that long term. We see that. Guess what? I can then pay you $30K because somebody, right, out of the 50 applicants, somebody wants a job. And at the end of the day, everybody's replaceable. Anybody can be taught something. And guess what? We're going to teach you crap about our own business and how we do marketing, not what you already learned with your degree anyways. Wow. Mind blown. Interesting, right? So then now it's like this $30K, cushion. And then what happens, right? We're feeling good because we just upgraded from making like $18 an hour to now, hey, we're on salary. We're on payroll. We got people pouring into like our, stocks and, ROIs and Roth RAs and whatnot, right? So anyways, the company, we're feeling on top of the world. But then what happens, right? We eventually want to get married. So then we realize like, okay, well, oh man, like I need more money, right? We're going to buy a house. We're going to buy this. Okay, well, hey, why don't I go ahead and get out the mortgage and everything like that? Oh, next thing you know, like we're in there, right? So now we got two debts, right? We got student loans and then we got the mortgage, right? And now all of a sudden, hey, it's like we're on this world for, a reason. Like, let's reproduce. Like, let's spend that quality time. Let's make some passionate love, right? Baby making music in the house. So then all of a sudden you got a kid, right? And then it's obviously more dependent upon them, right? They can't survive by themselves. So you got to work extra long hours, right? You get tired and you stop putting, things off that's a priority on your list off to the side. Next thing you know, the next 15, 20 years goes by, right? And you're completely like, what just happened to me? What the hell? Like, 20 years just went by like that, and you're sitting there, maybe you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and you're like, this is not the life that I wanted to live. Like, I'm blessed to have a family. I'm blessed to, have, whatever. But I wanted to do X, Y, and Z with my life. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. And it just makes you think, right? That, like, we're kind of forced, right? We're kind of forced. And when somebody decides to take their own path, right? And not do what everybody else does. That's why I love Dr. Seuss. Like, his best quote is like, why try to fit in when you're born to stand out? And I feel like I'm learning so much, not only as a parent, but as a business owner, as I'm just getting older and wiser and adapting. I'm only 30, guys. Like, I cannot wait until I meet myself at 35 and knowing everything that he knows now. And then at 40, knowing everything that he knows. Like, holy cow, that dude's going to be a stud. That dude's going to be on top of the world. But guess what? Everything that led me to where I am and where I'm getting, and I'm not saying this to brag or boast, I just think differently. That's it. I'm just, once again, this podcast, I'm just sharing with you guys just, hey, this is just what I'm thinking about. That's all, right? Just to kind of help you guys understand that how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you're not raising your kids because you're not raising yourself, right? Walking the walk, leading, right? It's your actions. If you're not doing that with your habits, somebody else will. And then eventually your kids are going to grow up into this world where it's nothing about society, with society with social media. So let's say you're raising up a daughter. Well, guess what? Your daughter is not seeing all these models, right, on Instagram because, hey, they're all there. Facebook, YouTube, the news, all this. So now they want to look a certain way, right? So now they want to try to fit in. Instead of, hey, why don't we teach our daughter about self-love, self-respect, and hey, no matter what somebody else thinks or says about you, and if you don't look that way like those other girls, you're beautiful regardless of what's inside of you, not what's on the outside experience. But have you ever had that conversation with your daughter? Probably not, because you never had that conversation with yourself. I'm the guy that's screaming affirmations. I don't care who's around me. These people aren't paying my mortgage. These people aren't making me happy. I make myself happy. I'm screaming affirmations. And guess what? My son is screaming affirmations because I don't want my son being 13 years old, trick-or-treating one day, and eventually telling some house that's running out of candy, I'm fat, give me the last little bit of the candy. What about self-respect? What about self-love? And I know we went down this rabbit hole about school and universities, but hear me out, guys. If you're not raising your kids, somebody else will. I just know for a fact, hey, there's a lot more business owners, and obviously, like, when you're a business owner, there's tax write-offs, there's like a lot of like great things in society and a lot of freedom instead of being dependent upon somebody else. And how do we eventually become a business owner or, have a trait that you want to do or just actually do what you're actually passionate about, follow your intuition in life? Guess what? Maybe it's finding somebody else that has that, what you want, or there's a skills or a knowledge or something like that, and you start investing into that route instead of doing what everybody else does. So parents, right? The sum of the 5 people that you hang around with the most, guess what? That's exactly who you are. Who are you hanging around with? You're hanging around with the same people that's sitting around the bars, watching their favorite football team lose every Sunday. They know all the stats about those favorite players. They're telling them, like, screaming at the TVs, oh, you should have done this, Johnny. Oh, you should have threw the ball, not ran the ball. Dude, when's the last time you ever went for a run? Right? Think differently, guys. Like, that's all I ever try to do. And I tell everybody this that's even a client. Think differently. Awareness. You want to succeed in life, think differently. There's a quote. When you start looking at things differently, the things that you look at start to change. Literally. Because it's your perspective of things. And I get it. Like, there has to be a yin to the yang, right? There has to be, people dependent upon the government and whatnot and schools and societies. But trust me, you can break free. It's hard. It's tough. It ain't easy. A lot of people are going to try to put you down. But at the end of the day, you got one life to live. Might as well make the most out of it. Might as well try to leave a legacy. And I promise you anything, like, if you value yourself, you have the right values and morals and ethics, I'm pretty sure you want to teach that to your kids. I'm pretty sure that, you want them to grow up like that. Instead of being, raised by society and, just the negativity of like the news, the social media, everything like that. It's like, dude, this can all be just easily fixed. And it all starts with the dads, the moms. It all starts with the parents. And here's the thing. I had this conversation with my best friend today at the gym. Everything right now in the stock market, everything's down, whatnot. He's asking about, where should I invest? We're talking about different stocks and whatnot. And I told him, I said, listen, you can invest into the S&P 500. Average return is obviously going to be 10%, right? Maybe not now right now with the recession, right? But on average, right? 10%. A lot better than 1% in the banks, right? That's all I'm saying, because people are so afraid to invest into different things where literally history is telling you make more money in the stock market than you will in the banks. Just FYI here, people. I'm not a financial advisor. But I told him, I said, don't do that, because if you were just going to put $50 a week into S&P 500 and eventually, right, accrue all this money and then, interest, whatnot, like, sure, you're making more money, doing that rather than the bank. But if you were going to take out, let's just say, I don't know, put a big lump sum into yourself and maybe find a course that's going to teach you to do something that you want to do in life, and you can find out how to then eventually make that into a side hustle, start making some money on the side. That money that you're going to make on the side is going to be well more profitable, right, and a higher ROI than a 10%. But most importantly, you're going to learn something, and then you can then teach it to others or teach it to your kids. And most importantly, you're following your passion in life, dude. So it's going to make you feel good when you're spending those long hours, right? Those late nights, those early mornings working on your craft, because it's your passion. It's your heart. It's a reward. And at the end of the day, like, we're not going to the grave with our bank account. We're going to the grave with our memories, our experiences. I love the fact that I broke free from the 9-to-5 and took my own route. And this was hard as hell. It still is hard as hell. Nothing in life's certain. I can go bankrupt tomorrow. But guess what? If I die, I'm dying a happy man, because I'm living life how I want to live. And when I go to the grave, I got my memories. I got my experiences. And I can say that, damn, I lived a great life. Some of you parents out there listening cannot say that. And that sucks for you. But here's the reality. You woke up today, right? Congratulations. Start making an investment today within yourself. Focus on you becoming a better version of yourself. What does that mean? Mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health. The 4 pillars of success. If you're lacking on any of those areas, guess what? That fortress that you're trying to build is then going to tip to the side and eventually crumble. You want to learn how to build up on all four pillars? Hey, you're looking at probably somebody that can help you out. If you're over the age of 40, you've been struggling for years with your health and fitness goals, and mentally you're in a funk. Guess what? I got a free guide for you. Go to heartletics.com, download the free fat loss guide. If you're like, hey, Joe, I already downloaded that guide. I want to talk to you directly. Well, guess what? Go talk to one of my coaches first. See if you qualify. We got hundreds of people that apply for coaching. Qualify first. You're a good fit. You're in the system. You're one of our member. Hey, I'll gladly talk to you, brother. Hop on a call with me, right? I want to learn all about how we can help you become the 2.0 version of yourself. With that being said, this has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics Podcast. If you guys got any value at all, please share this, because I want the world to know that, guys, this life is made to live, and it's made to be a better leader, and it all starts with yourself. Share this, and I promise you it's going to help out a lot of people in the end. Peace out, Girl Scout.